For the Ready State, how much of the business portfolio is that? Is the online, the certifying, the 20,000, and how much is like when you go and the All Blacks want you? Is that a separate LLC? Is that all entwined in the Ready State? How does that work from an actual business? I know Juliet's probably like that's her realm, right, as CEO. But.
Yeah, for sure. But our biggest piece is our online subscription service, and shout out to Juliet because we are one of the first businesses in fitness to have a subscription service. So everyone else model, welcome, you've been copying us, right? Even CrossFit. Dave gave me a lot of shit when we started charging. He's like, well, we're free and everything's free. And I was like, is it? The $25 and now it's free. And then they went back and started charging for it again because they realized it costs money to put this stuff out, right? So it was like the New York Times and then the Ready State. And we thought we'd lose everyone asking them to pay, but we could do more and more. So that's a huge chunk. And then you have to see everything else. It's like constellation. So I do consulting. We have product sponsors. We have products. We do courses. And suddenly, I'm a little. Sometimes when I talk to people on the airplane, they're like, "What do you do?" I'm like a celebrity chef, but it's fitness, right? So I make pots and pans, and I teach people how to make pots and pans, and I have cooking show, and then you can subscribe to my cooking channel, and right, we do all of these things, but the VMC, the virtual mobility coach, where you can have access. And I'm super stoked. One of the things that happens, I think, with a lot of legacy businesses, because we are the content king, like we are the creation king. We created this vertical, and then now that we have competitors, because it makes everyone better, and that's good. But they came in and were able to draft and walk in behind us a little bit. We broke a lot of ground, and the allegory is, we'd have coaches used to be with us and be like, you guys used to be on Yahoo? Like, what's Yahoo? And we're like, well, there's no Gmail when we opened, jerk, right? So it takes a minute to turn.
Yeah.
And if you can relate to this, if you're on MindBody, someone's like, come on in and leave MindBody. I'm like, oh, like I have to pour it over.
I just made them do that recently. They were not happy.
Yeah, I'm like, you're going to set up all the recurrent billing and all so appreciate when there's a company that's been doing things for a long time, it takes a minute to pivot.
Yeah.
Right? It's just hard to change that ship.
It's turning into Titanic.
Yeah, for sure. And all the systems, and you can't possibly imagine how sophisticated it is. Our day-to-day meeting is 11 people. When we have that's the Ready State plus all of the SEO people and all the other but our core group is 11 full-time employees to run this little mom and pop stretching show, and we just launched a brand new app. Just soft launched it like 2 days ago.
Like native to iOS and Android.
And built it from the ground up, scratch. And I'm so stoked because that's another pivot. You need to make sure that our desktop experience is pretty rad, but our wireframed out app wasn't very as good as we'd want it to be. And everyone has a phone, and that phone goes with everywhere. And if you can't deliver it, isn't rad in that phone, you're losing business. It's a big, big driver. So like all these other businesses, we get to go out, have the best content, the best crack, but it's taken us a second to just also be like, okay, let's turn the whole ship around and get caught up. It's much easier to start from scratch on those things.
Do you have what's the goal with the Ready State as a business? Do you guys have not a mission, but like a target? What are you aiming for? Is it a number? Is it what is that?
Because that's a good goal.
Because you guys coming in, again, you have new information, but a lot of it is trying to get this current information that you have, maybe very similar to stuff you said 10 years ago, to new audiences. Yeah. And eventually you're kind of cooking the same thing. But for you guys, what do you see as the main mission and the goal of the business? Is it are you going to, I think
someday, here's what we've seen of late. I can talk about now. I've been working with Amazon for the last 2 years on a computer vision project, which launches in June. And Amazon has a new wearable called Halo, right? And track motion, sleep, the whole thing. It's good. And they approached me and said, hey, Kelly, we want to do some movement health, but we're not sure what we should look at and how to do it. And they had some really great people involved. One was a former athlete. And you can set up your phone. It'll watch you move, and they give you correctives, right? We don't do corrective exercises. We have mobilizations and movements and training, but corrective exercises is like a scaled-down version, right, of something. But here's a big company taking a crack at saying you should have hip flexion. You should be able to extend your hip. And what I didn't want them to do was to fuck it up. It's like, here we have biggest pockets ever taking a crack at telling the world you should have some dorsiflexion. You should be able to squat. That is a revolution, and really a big opportunity. So I'm the face of the app. Wait till you see me all over the face of this app doing all the video, like Amazon Face Kelly stuff.
I knew him when.
Right, same bald guy.